When you're doing an insurance claim supplement, you may find yourself having some friction with an adjuster. Jerry was doing a roof replacement, and he got on the phone with the adjuster to discuss his supplement. The adjuster said no to this, and nobody else ever asks for that, and my guidelines don't allow that. As Jerry argued with the adjuster, he felt his blood pressure rising, and his voice got louder and louder until he told the adjuster what he thought in very colorful language. We talked earlier about using emotional intelligence to manage your instinctive reactions and relate to others, but easier said than done. If you understand where everyone is coming from, that can help you navigate around the landmines. So we're going to look at strengths, limiters, and triggers. Jerry, as a contractor, his area of strength is his production knowledge. He knows how the job needs to be done. He knows what materials it requires, where to buy them, how much he needs. He knows what code and manufacturer specifications have to be followed. And he knows his project costs, his material and labor and overhead. He knows he needs a supplement. The adjuster's area of strength is their knowledge of policy. They have been thoroughly trained on the policies sold by their company, the endorsements and exclusions and how they apply, and are prepared to interpret coverage for that particular loss. And they are trained in a little bit of material and construction knowledge. Limiters are those things that work against you or challenges. These things are stressors that can affect your emotional response. For a contractor, time constraints would be one of them. When the homeowner expects the project to be done, when is the material available, crew schedules, other project schedules, payment timelines. And then you have the condition of the property. Is it a giant loss with a really big project? Is it a hazardous work environment? Is it a really high-end property and you just hope that your team does not put a ding into that ornamental light fixture? And then you have the customer needs. Maybe they're elderly. Maybe they ask a million questions. Maybe they try to micromanage you. You're taking all of this in to keep the job on track and keep the customer happy. So no wonder Jerry had a short fuse. Adjusters have limiters as well. One of them is their workload. Their company squeezes as many hours and as many claims out of them as they can. If they're in the field, they are probably working 12+ hour days, up and down on roofs, doing inspections, writing estimates. If they're a desk adjuster, they have more claims on their desk than they have time to review. And they're working within time constraints as well. They are supposed to get a certain number of files closed in a certain amount of time, and they want to be done with the claim and on to their next one. And your supplement stands in their way. As individuals, they report to a supervisor at the company, not to the homeowner. They're paid and promoted according to internal company metrics. So they're going to be selective and look for things that will help them close down the supplement or get the file wrapped up quickly within their timeline and within their guidelines that they have been given. Then there's the triggers. These are the things that set you off. For Jerry, obviously, having an adjuster who was unwilling to consider his supplement or who was being unreasonable was something that made him hot under the collar. But you have to stay professional. Don't give them a reason to write you off. Remember, those calls are recorded. And if you still can't get anywhere with that particular adjuster, reach out to their supervisor or get the homeowner involved to get a new adjuster assigned. And the adjuster has triggers too. So be aware of the things that may cause them to react negatively and try not to trip on a landmine if you can help it. Lack of knowledge may be one of them. Adjusters are trained extensively on policy, but not extensively on construction practices. So in discussing a supplement, you may get an adjuster who feels a little bit out of their depths and doesn't have a full understanding of what is necessary or appropriate. Nobody wants to feel stupid, so if Jerry suggests that they're incompetent at their job, that's going to be a trigger that will escalate tension in the conversation. So try and educate without talking down to them. And then you have their distrust of contractors. An adjuster is trained to not pay for what is not necessary or warranted. This makes them predisposed to distrust a contractor's estimate, especially if it is significantly higher than theirs. They're also going to be predisposed to expect the worst from you. The way that Jerry handled that conversation confirmed that adjuster's opinion about him and contractors in general. So present yourself professionally and have documentation. If Jerry doesn't manage his emotions, he can forget about having a productive conversation about his supplement. He'll have more success if he plays to his strengths, doesn't give in to his triggers, and is also aware of things that may be limiters and triggers for that adjuster. And hopefully Jerry will have more successful conversations with adjusters in the future.